Today we're going to show you how to crochet a classic granny square. So here we've used 3 colours, and our first colour is made up with 4 clusters of 2 half double crochets, and then we double that to 8 clusters of 2 half double crochets, and then we'll end with a round of double crochet to get our nice clean edges. So to start with, you're going to create a magic loop in your first colour. And we do have a separate video for this, so if you are not sure how to make a magic loop, jump over to our other video and then come back. So we're just going to race through this part. And it can be a little bit tricky to finish off your magic loop, but ta-da, we're done. So now we're going to start our square by doing a chain 2, and this chain 2 will count as your first half double crochet in your cluster. And you can see that each cluster is made of 2. So now we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, and then pull it through all 3 loops to create a half double crochet. Fab. So we finished our first cluster. Now we're going to move on to our second cluster, but you can see that we've got this gap on the side. So to create that space, we're going to do a chain 2. And now we're going to do 2 half double crochets. Your first round can be a little bit tight, but it will loosen up as you go. So with our second cluster done, we're going to do our next corner space. So to do that, we do another chain 2. And now 2 more half double crochets. So you can see we've got 3 clusters, so we need to create 1 more corner space. So chain 2, and our last cluster of 2 half double crochets. Once that's done, pull your loose tail to tighten your circle, your magic loop, and then we're going to join our square. So to do that, we need to finish off with a chain 2. And now we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of our original chain 2. Now it's time to fasten off. And you've completed your first round in your granny square. So for our second colour, you can see that we're working into the 4 corner spaces, but what we're doing is we're actually creating an extra cluster in each corner. So with your right side facing up, insert your hook into any of those corner spaces, and then you're going to join your new coloured yarn. So I like to slip my hook through, pull a loop through, and then do a chain with both of the pieces of yarn. But now we're just going to leave the tail behind and do a chain 2 with our working yarn. And this chain 2 again is going to count as our first half double crochet. So now yarn over and insert your hook into that same corner space and do a half double crochet. So that's our first cluster done. So to create this corner space, we're going to do a chain 2. And now 2 more half double crochets. So it's time to work in the next corner. So we're going to go straight in with 2 half double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook and complete your first half double crochet. And then do 1 more half double crochet. And you finished your next cluster. So now it's time to do a chain 2 to create that corner space. And 2 more half double crochets. And we're going to repeat this pattern for the remaining 2 corners. So we don't do a chain 2 when we move from one corner to the next, as we're not creating that 90-degree edge. We just go straight in with our half double crochets. With our last corner complete, it's now time to join our square. So to do that, we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of our original chain 2. So you can either go into one loop or go under both loops. Here I'm going to go under both loops just because I feel like I get a cleaner edge, but it's totally up to you. And now fasten off. And you have completed your second round in your granny square. So time to start our last color. So you can see that we've gained these middle clusters, which are new, and these are in those little middle spaces, which we'll get to as we start crocheting the edges. But essentially it's just the same, except this time we're using a double crochet rather than a half double crochet. So we'll start by joining our yarn in any corner space and do a chain 1. And now because we're doing double crochet rather than a half double crochet, we'll start with a chain 3. And that chain 3 will count as our first double crochet. So insert your hook and complete your next double crochet for your cluster. And now that one's complete. So like we have with all the other rounds, we're going to do a chain 2 as we're working in a corner. And so now do 2 more double crochets into that same corner space. And now it's time to work in that new space between our clusters in the middle. So insert your hook and go straight in with 2 double crochets. And now we're going to work into the next corner. So go straight in with another 2 double crochets. And time to do a chain 2. And now 2 more double crochets into that same corner space. Now we're going to work another middle cluster. So yarn over, insert your hook and complete 2 double crochets. And moving into our next corner with another 2 double crochets. And a chain 2 to create that nice corner edge. And 2 more double crochets. And we're going to repeat these clusters of 2 double crochets in each middle space and 2 sets of 2 double crochets separated by a chain 2 in the remaining corner. And to join our square, we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of our original chain 3. So again, you can either go through one loop or put your hook underneath both and then fasten off to finish, and you have completed your granny square. And a handy tip is to weave your ends in as you go so that you don't get overwhelmed by the amount of loose ends at the end of your project.